Hi, my name is Micah. I do customer service and I drive a 2009 Ford F-150. What got me into building? Well, that's kind of a long story. I actually didn't know that I was into cars until I would say probably about my sophomore or junior year of high school. I come from namely a car background. This is actually my first truck. So I would say that my senior year, I started messing around with things more like suspension. I really started messing with, lowering springs and coilovers for cars. And that really kind of introduced me into getting a lot of the technical knowledge and hands-on experience with suspension and things of that nature. So that's where a lot of that basis lies. After high school, I became a certified Ford mechanic for about 2-3 years before I started working for custom offsets. So that gave me a lot of hands-on knowledge as well with F-150s in particular, and I think that really helped me with this, considering that I actually did the whole lift and everything on this myself. So what led from cars over into trucks? Well, a lot of that lies in the fact that I actually own another project. My actual project car is a 1998 Lexus GS 400, and I have that set up for drifting. I needed something that I could tow it with and haul things around, and I was sick of stacking parts in my various smaller cars in order to try and move things around, because I do haul stuff around quite a bit. So I needed a truck, and at the time I was working, like I said, as a Ford mechanic, and I was at the dealership, and I found this one for a reasonable price. So bone stock at the moment and everything. It was actually full grandpa spec with tan interior and everything like that. It wasn't my first choice, but it really grew on me, and I actually really do like the truck. And I was going to leave it stock for the longest time. I was telling myself I'm going to leave it stock, but especially working here got the best of me, and next thing you know, I was putting a lift and wheels and tires on it and making it look good. So my build list, essentially, it's pretty simple. I didn't want to go too overboard with the truck. It's not some insanely clean Instagram build or something like that, or any sort of show truck or anything like that. I just wanted it to look nice. So basically what's done to the truck is a 6-inch rough country suspension lift. For wheels and tires, I have 22 by 12 chrome ARKON Caesars, and then I have 35 by 12.5 Venom Terra XTs for the tires. Anything else that's done to it, it's really not much. I have a MagnaFlow exhaust. I have tow mirrors on it. It's really very simple. I don't have anything too extravagant done to it. Just enough to make it look kind of decent. So for future plans for this vehicle, there's not a whole lot. I knocked a lot of the big stuff out with the lift and wheels and tires. Unfortunately, with it being a Wisconsin truck, there is some rust, so that's in the future to fix as well. As far as anything else, possibly bigger eventually, who knows? I'm thinking eventually I'll do some performance mods too to actually kind of match that, especially with me needing to haul and tow with this thing. Having 35-inch tires on a half-ton isn't most ideal, so I'm kind of considering eventually, re-gearing. Who knows? Only time will tell. So why vehicles? The biggest thing for that is expression. That's the way that I express myself, is building certain things and making them both look and perform a certain way. For example, my Lexus, it's super low, it has 3-piece wheels on it, it's loud, it's purple, it's hard to miss. And that's something where I let my creative side come out, and I wanted to do that with the truck as well, while also keeping it simple enough to where I could drive it every day. A lot of that has to come with my creativity and expression and things like that. And I like the way that modified vehicles look. You don't see, stock vehicles rolling around except for something super expensive where you snap your neck at it. Whereas if you see something that's lifted or absolutely slammed to the ground, you're more than likely gonna look. And it's not so much me seeking the attention of others, it's more so just the enjoyment of it myself, but it's also some self-expression as well. As far as setbacks for this particular build, it was pretty interesting. Instead of having Offset's garage or another shop do it, I actually did the lift kit myself, which having past experience with Ford independent front suspension and things like that, it did help me out. But this is the first ever lift kit that I ever did, and this is not quite as straightforward as like a solid front axle truck. So there is, some cutting involved and things like that. You do have to drop down the differential, and I was in my driveway, basically on a concrete slab, with limited tools. I didn't have any air tools. All I had was certain electric tools and mostly hand tools to get this done. If I were to do it again, I would 100% pay somebody to put it in because it was not worth the struggle and everything, but it gave me a lot of insight and it gave me a lot of knowledge as to how everything works with the lift kits. And with me working for customer service for suspension, I'm able to give that insight to customers. So that does help and everything like that. But aside from that, it was pretty straightforward. I didn't run into any major setbacks. It was just a lot of physical work to get everything done. So when I cut away the section of the frame for the cross member and everything, it was kind of one of those moments where I got the grinder going or whatever, and I looked at it and I was like, do I really want to never go back to this? And I was like, when am I ever going to get the chance to do this again? Might as well do it now. And I just started cutting. As far as friends and family supporting me, my friends are 100% one of my large influences in why I do what I do too, because I surround myself with people rather who have similar interests and motivation to me. My family, they have a little bit different opinion on it. My mother in particular, she said, don't you make your truck look all stupid, and I came home and started cutting it apart and she freaked out at me about it. So they're still supportive of me, they're very loving and everything like that. They don't quite have, that insight as to why and everything like that. They don't have that same mentality, but they're still supportive and everything like that. They don't have that insight that us as enthusiasts have. I guess my favorite part about building this specific truck was kind of seeing, well, for one, getting the insight and getting that knowledge and having that basis down for the future so that if I ever did want to do another lift kit or something like that, I could, which I really enjoy working with my hands and doing mechanical work. So that's one of the things I enjoyed about that, was gaining that knowledge and experience. Yeah, going from something that you just see in your head and have as this vision to then bringing it to reality is super fulfilling and it's super rewarding to feel. So having that vision and having that goal set in mind and then working towards that is something that I'm really passionate about, and it really brings a rewarding feeling. And when you get something like this done, it feels amazing.